Technology is an incredible power for good, whether increasing the flow of information or reducing the prevalence of disease. But longer and healthier lives through technology have little to offer in the way of comfort to mourners at the time of death. We must focus on the meaning of the lived life, having renounced any theological principle or higher purpose. And we find that meaning in the relationship, in how one touched the lives of others. Fleeting though we may be, we do touch others, and in that we can find meaning.
We are makers, and as makers, we gather today to celebrate the death of Jill, who left us with an untold story of her making, the story of birthing her daughter, as told through her very eyes. Jill, too, was a maker, a creator of worlds. Jill shaped, developed, transformed, and she built. In thought, she made words, and in words she made belief, and in belief she made stories. We are all responsible for the stories we tell and the worlds we create. Our stories survive through time when they are shared. The cares and perplexities are the stories of love. The tranquility and relaxation are the stories of peace. The calamity and pain are the stories of death. The joy and sacrament are the stories of birth.
I will be your facilitator today. Our purpose is to remember Jill and how she lived her life, and in so doing, touch the lives of many others. As Jill's life ends, she emerges anew. She is emerging again in the stories we tell today and continuing the lessons she has taught us in life by carrying them into tomorrow. We are remembered in our relationships, and I invite everyone who wishes to pay their respects in whatever medium or style to share their experiences where Jill touched your life. For if nothing else is left, Jill has experienced the human condition. I will give the first remembrance of today. This is Jill. She was a prolific photographer. What her photographer teaches me is that she traveled the world. She tried to understand this experience as much as she possibly could. She reminds me that life is finite, and we have one opportunity, one brief moment in the long history of time to live the life that we have.
Jill is my mom. She never created in a vacuum. Her art and her whole life was public domain, and she liked it that way. I think it's important that we honor that spirit by keeping her life in memory publicly accessible. By documenting and monumentalizing her work, we're helping to contribute to our shared stories. So today, when we have to say goodbye to a beloved friend and family member, it's not the end of the story, because she made the efforts to share her life with people. And so, as I move forward, I want her story to be out there, because part of my story belongs to her. My technology will help me to share all stories, mine, Jill's, and all the others that make up who I am, who we all are. So when you think about it, Jill was telling all of our stories, a public collective, and it would be a shame if we all didn't take up that same charge.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to share this moment. Jill left such an indelible imprint on so many lives, way beyond the ones that are lucky enough to call her friends. She'll live on not only through our memories, but in our actions and goals and in the values we instill in our children. Her integrity, compassion, kindness, rippling across future generations like waves on an endless sea. I had the good fortune of working with her at a number of at-risk youth retreats. At night we'd gather under the stars for singing and entertainment session, and man, she loved to sing, and she had such a great voice. I'd like to offer up just a few measures of her favorite song in her honor.
I am Jill's most experienced disciple, and I am chiefly responsible for carrying into the future her zeitgeist, her worldview, her sense and sensibility, her mental traits and associations in the realm of art and science, her values and wisdom. You'll believe that part of our collective responsibility in being human is to prepare for a civilizational transfer of knowledge. We must own our own makings. We must prepare for death by co-constructing materials that will help us move our work forward. I recall working closely with Jill and discussing for long hours how we might encode her thoughts and feelings on these important matters into a series of algorithms and routines that I hold in my hand. Now I give this memory stick to the memory sculptor and cyborg standing next to me. And now we will launch a new beginning for Jill, myself, and all of us.
We do not know the answer to the ultimate question regarding Jill's identity, but we can sketch it by means of a poem by Godard's Identity. What is your name? That of the founder of an unknown city, that of a long disappeared bird species, that of a forgotten language, that of a beautiful ship lost with all hands and cargo. How old are you? As old as my father's father was when I was born. As old as my father was when I weighed anchor. The age my son will be when I will have left nothing to lose. Where do you come from? From the epicenter, from the high plains, from the occupied zone, from the train station, from the morgue, from nowhere. Where do you go? To the only spring, to the estuary, to the roof of the wall, to the bottom of the abyss, in the night of my skull, in the sun of my bowels. Who are you? The nephew of the wind, the lover of the ash, the disciple of fire, the heir of the void. And who else? An eternal prowler, a deserter, or rather a plunderer of deserts, a wrecker of rubble, a motionless traveler, a one-eyed seer, a hunter of shadows, a shadow.
I am a memory sculptor who uses neural implants to work with recordings from other people's neural implants. Jane's consciousness is gone. Her recorded sense experiences remain. I accept these encodings and will weave them into a story of the art Jane might have done. As humanity collectively evolves into a form unimagined and unimaginable, it may work our narratives into a new and grander story of our existence and meaning in the cosmos. Neither death shall dismay nor amaze me, fixed in the certainty of life ascendant.
We now recite a poem that reminds us of our place in this universe. Every particle of everything,
Rock, water, flower, human,
has been in the same place, flaming, in the heart of our ancient sun,
before the earth,
came flying out of it. The irises in your eyes,
the tissue of roses,
the slow giant rocks in mountain hearts, were all born flaming,
locked in the sun as it drifted,
like a light on dark water.
As humans, We are not mere elements of creation, we are agents of creation. Our purpose is to create ideas and things that make the world better for humans still living and humans to come. The tragedy of death is that it interrupts creations we have started, leaving unfinished business. To fulfill our need to create, we desire to endow our creative resources to others after death. So in this ceremony, we have bequeathed the knowledge and memory of Jill to her colleagues, friends, and family, that they may remember her and carry on her efforts. Her most important art, stories, and memories are now downloaded into the consciousness of others who can finish her unfinished creations. Though she has left us in the body, she lives on in our memories, thoughts, and efforts.
Embracing the human condition allows us to emerge into a new understanding of our place in the universe. The insatiable desire to live an eternity reaches to humanity's core, for if we can cheat death, all aspirations will be fulfilled. Pursuing this path is not without consequences. Endeavoring to do such a thing blinds us to a universal truth. All things that are and all things that have been exist in a transient state. The value of life comes not from the amount of time we live, rather from the interactions we forge in a lifetime. If we listen closely, it is in depth when we learn the most about living.